Welcome to driver training. In this video, we're going to deal with one of the maneuvers that you need for the driving test, which is pulling up on the right and reversing 2 car lengths. Why do you need to do this? Well, there are many towns and cities where your only option is to pull up on the right to park. So, like in this instance here, on the left, you've got double yellow lines, so your only option for parking is to pull up on the right. Many older towns and cities, again, will have things like this example here, a bus lane on the left, which means the only place for you to park on the high street are in the parking bays on the right. Talking of which, that could just be the case that the only parking bays available are on the right-hand side of the road. So that's why they introduced pulling up on the right as one of the maneuvers that you'll need for the driving test. So how do we do it? Well, the first thing we need to do is look and assess. Now, this comes in 2 parts. The first is to look and assess, are there any road markings or signs which tells me that I can't? So are there any zigzag lines, double yellow lines, no waiting restrictions, waiting time restrictions? Are there any junctions or bus stops? Because remember, the second half of this maneuver is to reverse back. So one of the common mistakes that people make is they see the bus stop or the junction, they pull up past it, forgetting the next bit is they've got to reverse back 2 car lengths. And by the time they've reversed back 2 car lengths, they're either in or opposite the bus stop or the junction, which then is an automatic fail on the driving test. The second part then is, are there any vehicles? Because that same principle applies. We don't want to pull up just past the vehicle on the right and then either not be able to reverse back 2 car lengths, or by reversing back 2 car lengths, we get that close to them that we're literally on the other car's bumper. When we found a space, we need to check our centre mirror, our right mirror, and if it's a pretty busy road, there's nothing actually wrong with just having a quick check on the right blind spot. The reason for that is vehicles turning right are involved in a lot of accidents with vehicles from behind. And these days, with e-bikes and e-scooters that can just come flying past you, it's a good idea to just double check it is safe before moving across. But then what do we do if there are cars coming the other way? Well, we think of it like a right turn. If we were turning right, we'd do our mirrors, our signal, we'd position just by the centre white line, then we'd stop, wait for the car to come past. Once it had, we'd turn right. So we do exactly the same thing when we're pulling up on the right. We would do our mirrors and signal, position just by the centre line, wait for the oncoming vehicle to pass us, and then move across. When we do move across, we want to make sure that when we stop, we are level with the curb on the right. We don't want to be stopped at an angle so the back of the car is sticking out. And the way we do that is we use a reference point or a focal point. So on a quiet road, we could pull up on the right for the first time, and then we'd want to follow the curb back towards the car. And wherever it meets the front of your car or the dashboard, that's the point that you know is your reference point for each time you pull up on the right. Then we need to reverse back 2 car lengths. Why? Well, once we've pulled up on the right, a vehicle could pull up or park in front of us, and that would block our view to know whether it was actually safe to move out or not. So therefore, we'd need to reverse back at least 2 car lengths just to make sure that we had a better view of any traffic that was coming down the road. And that's the reason for the reversing back 2 car lengths. Once we've done this, we could check our centre mirror, our left blind spot, signal down, and then when it's safe to, we could move across back onto the left side of the road, and not forgetting to get to the speed limit of the road as quickly as is safe to. And as a quick side note, if a vehicle pulled up behind you and blocked your view, you couldn't see either in the centre or the left mirror realistically if it was safe to drive off or not, then there is nothing wrong as long as it's safe to with just pulling forward slightly, and that would give you a better view in both mirrors and your blind spot of whether it was safe to drive on. If that was the case, again, it's checking the centre mirror, the left blind spot, and then when it's safe to, moving across back onto the left side of the road and building up to the speed limit as quickly as is safe to. Now, once you've done this a few times, it will become second nature, so that moving across won't be an issue. You'll have your reference point with the curb on the front of your car. You'll know where you should pull up. So once you're at this point, you can just stop, have a quick breather, and think to yourself, what does he always moan at me at this point for? Oh yeah, check all around. So again, we want to do full observations over the left blind spot all the way around over the right blind spot, because you're going to have driveways and pathways on both sides. You could have people walking out of their gardens about to cross the road, not thinking you're going to be reversing. You can have vehicles coming up. You can have all sorts of things going on. As well as that, you need to make sure that you're staying parallel and fairly close to the curb. So by just taking your time, taking it slow, it becomes easy. And then before moving off, centre, left mirror, left blind spot. And when it's safe, just get over onto the left and up to the speed limit of the road. So we hope this video has helped you with understanding pulling up on the right and reversing. If it has, leave us a comment, let us know what you think, or if there's anything you want us to cover, let us know. My name's Chris from Driver Training. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel. Remember, drive safely, keep well, and we'll see you all again in our next video.